You're giving your best energy to strangers and leaving the bitter leftovers for the people you claim to love. You think you're a good person? So well, hello everyone, it's me, Gustav Ekky. I hope you're having a productive day, or at least a day where you're successfully pretending to be productive. Because let's be honest, that's what most of us are doing, right? We're all just performers in this massive global theater of being okay. But before we dive into the dark corners of your living room, I want to thank those of you who've been following this shift in my content. I see the comments, I see the debates, and I'm here to provide the data, and what you do with it is up to you. So now, let's get down to the business. Let's look at the data of why you're so exhausted, and spoiler alert, it's not because you're a hard worker. Most of you think being nice is a personality trait, but I think it's not. In cognitive psychology, being a good person is a metabolic expense. It's a bill you pay every single day. Every time you fake a smile at a boss who has the IQ of lukewarm salad, or every time you swallow a scream in traffic, you're burning fuel. Back in '98, Roy called this ego depletion. I call it having a cheap knockoff battery. Your willpower isn't infinite, it's a finite resource. By 6 p.m., after 8 hours of performing for society and pretending you don't want to quit your job, your battery is at 2%. You're done. You don't have the charge left to be a good partner, a good parent, or even a functioning human being. You aren't evil when you get home, you're just biologically bankrupt, and you've spent all your currency on people who don't even like you. Does that sound like a good investment to you? Because from where I'm sitting, you're trading your soul for a participation trophy in madness. Hey, listen to me. Why don't you snap at your boss when the battery is low? Because of consequence analysis. If you scream at your manager, you lose your paycheck. If you scream at a stranger, you might get hit. Wow, you're a professional coward. We all are. But then, you get home. The safe haven, this is where restraint collapse kicks in. Psychologists see this in toddlers after a long day of preschool. But let's be honest, you're just a toddler with a credit card. You've been holding your breath for 9 hours, pretending to be a civilized member of society, and home is the only place where you feel safe enough to finally be a monster. Here is the dark paradox. We use our sanctuaries as a toxic dumping ground because we know the people inside are legally or emotionally obligated to stay. You exploit their unconditional love to fan your conditional frustration. You're literally taxing the people you love to pay off the debts you owe to people you hate. It's a magnificent glitch in human empathy. We treat strangers like royalty and our families like emotional trash cans. Are you actually a good person? Or are you just a bully who chooses your victims based on who's least likely to sue you? Let's look at the collateral damage. When you bring that bitter leftover energy home, you create a toxic atmosphere known as walking on eggshells. According to research by the Gottman Institute, constant emotional volatility in the home leads to chronic activation of amygdala in your family members. Your partner and your children aren't just annoyed by your mood. Their bodies are literally in fight or flight mode over 10 years. This isn't just bad vibes, this is a medical hazard. You are raising the cortisol levels of the people you claim to be working for. You are providing for them financially while bankrupting them emotionally. Is that a fair trade? The analytical reality of 2026 is cold. It's no longer just the big bangs like infidelity or financial ruin killing modern marriage. Aggregate analytics suggests that approximately 67% of divorces now cite gradual emotional erosion as the primary cause. In plain English, they didn't leave because of a fight, they left because there was nothing left to fight for. The house was built, but the inhabitants were emotionally bankrupt. In the US, longitudinal research cited by the APA confirms that negative work-to-family spillover, the technical term for bringing your office rage home, effectively double the risk of marital dissolution. You are working 60 hours a week to build a house while spending your nights dismantling its foundation. And the CDC Kaiser ACE study doesn't care about your excuse. They track 17,000 people, and the math is brutal. If you raise your kids in a walking on eggshells environment, you are increasing their risk of clinical depression by 4-fold. That's a 400% tax on their mental health that they'll be paying for the rest of their lives. Technically speaking, you aren't just ruining your home today, you are reprogramming your children's brains to fail in their future relationships. And the data predicts the average divorce cost between $15,000 and $20,000 globally, excluding asset liquidation. From a purely financial standpoint, being cruel at home is the worst investment you will ever make. You're giving away your best energy for a paycheck and paying it back with high interest trauma. So how do we fix the system? We need to install a firewall between the world and your home, because if you don't separate these two environments, the work version of you will eventually colonize your entire life. So here is the protocol to reboot your home OS before you cross the threshold. Number 1, the 10-minute buffer zone. Data from the Journal of Occupational Health Psychology suggests that a psychological detachment period is crucial. You need to uninstall the corporate persona. Sit in your car. Sit on a park bench. Do not enter the house until you've sat in silence for at least 10 minutes. And no, scrolling through TikTok doesn't count as detachment. That's just swapping one dopamine addiction for another. So put the phone down and just exist. Because if you can't sit with yourself for 10 minutes, how do you expect your family to sit with you for 5 hours? Number 2, the sensory reset. We need to hack your biology. Use the mammalian dive reflex. Just like splash freezing water on your face for 30 minutes, it forces your heart rate to drop and triggers your parasympathetic nervous system. It's a hard reboot for your mood. Think of it as hitting Control-Alt-Delete on your brain. It clears the cache stress from your system so you don't accidentally crash the home server the moment someone asks you what's for dinner. Number 3, radical transparency. Most of us fail because we expect our families to be mind readers. Stop it. Use logic, not emotion. The second you walk in, communicate your system status. Tell your family just like this maybe. My emotional regulation tank is at 0%. I need 20 minutes of silence to recharge so I can be the person you actually deserve. It sounds like a corporate memo. I know, it's a bit clinical, a bit cold, but I promise you, sounding like a robot for 20 minutes is a much better investment than acting like a gladiator for the rest of the night. Give them the warning, not an explosion. Strangers get your best because you're afraid of them, and your family get your worst because you're sure of them. Hey, don't let that certainty become your biggest regret. Respect the harbor, or don't be surprised when the harbor finally closes its gates for good. So thank you for your attention. Bye.